Kind of taking it on the chin, particularly at the gas pump or even at the grocery store. So any little bit is a big help.
It's transition to the cold weather day for retiree Pat Siraki of Livonia. He put away the summer pinwheels and plants. But his outdoor work came after his computer check of the Social Security increase.
Americans who are on Social Security are expected to get more in their monthly check.
The U.S. government is expected to announce what could be one of the biggest rate hikes in decades tomorrow.
Target 12 consumer investigator Sarah Granelli breaks down that and what it could mean for you.
Percent is already the biggest bump to benefits since '81, when the COLA hit an all-time high of 11.2%. According to a poll from the Motley Fool, some say it's just not enough to deal with ongoing inflation. 55% of retirees believe that the 2023 COLA could have been even higher. Advocates for seniors also argue that the Consumer Price Index for urban wage earners and clerical workers is the metric used to calculate the annual adjustment isn't as accurate for the economic needs of the people. And I agree. This year's COLA was 5.9%. Still not enough. Itself is a 40-year record broken this year, but the annual inflation rate was just 7.7 for the 12 months that ended in October. So it peaked in June at 9.1%. And according to the Citizens League, August 2022, COLA fell again by 48%. It means the average beneficiary was shortchanged $417 for the year to date. Senior Citizens policy analysts also told CNET that we anticipate an ongoing shortfall in 2023. The rate of inflation has fallen significantly from where it was a year ago. We're still in a high inflation period. The National Council on Aging called next year's increase insufficient and stated our nation's support programs are not meeting today's realities. There's serious debate on how heavily older Americans rely on their benefits. A 2017 report released by the SSA said less than 1 in 5 of those 65 and older relied on Social Security for at least 90% of their income. That's a lot of people. In 2020, through the National Institute for Retirement Security, they put that figure at close to 40% of seniors. In October, the AARP chief executive said that Social Security provides nearly all income for 25% of retirees. But a Senior Citizens League survey from this fall found it was more like 45%. So that's a lot of money. One common complaint is also about how COLA is calculated. It's determined by year-over-year changes to the CPIW. It's a bill sponsored by Representative Larson, a Democrat from Connecticut, who instead tethered a COLA to the Consumer Price Index for the elderly, which puts greater emphasis on the piece of healthcare and other goods and services that have a greater impact on older Americans. Representative Larson already sent a statement. The truth is that COLA has not kept up with inflation for years because the current formula just does not accurately reflect seniors' expenses. Mary Johnson also agrees that the CPIW is an entirely inaccurate assessment. For example, the CPIW skews heavily toward gas prices, which impacts seniors less. Because of the discrepancy, beneficiaries and benefits have lost 40% of buying power since 2000. Johnson said the Senior Citizens League favors funding for an elderly index that's as in-depth as the CPIW. And she says there's wide support in Congress for this. Wide support for more stimulus cash, that is, folks. Now, according to the most recent trustees report, Social Security trust funds are expected to run out of money by 2035, forcing major benefit cuts like tax hikes or some combination of the two. With that reality in mind, it's important to know what you can expect from 2023 COLAs. In just a dozen years before that expected day of reckoning, what happens next year and the few years after that are just going to determine whether the 2020-35 projection will end up being overly ambitious, overly conservative, or just about right for your money. Most people who already receive Social Security and Medicare have their Medicare Part B premiums directly deducted from their benefits. The standard monthly Medicare Part B premium is actually dropping to $165 in 2023. The extra $5.20 a month may not seem like much, but every bill counts. That has the potential to be especially beneficial in the future. And according to the Motley Fool, if your Medicare Part B premium is deducted and your Medicare Social Security check is here, any increase in your base Medicare Part B premiums cannot be more than the increase in your Social Security benefit. That's at least according to multiple sources. Folks, here's the most important stimulus news, Social Security news, SI news, and pretty much every news but the fourth stimulus check that you guys have to know. We got a ton to discover, so keep on watching. You don't want to miss out.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to stand before you today as the incoming House Democratic leader for the 118th Congress that will convene on January 3rd, and to be joined by my two good friends, amazing colleagues and partners, the incoming House Democratic Whip, Catherine Clark, and the incoming caucus chair, Aguilar. Let me first begin by just expressing my heartfelt thoughts and prayers for the family of Don McKeachum, tragically passed away. The House Democratic Caucus is a family, and Representative McKeachum was an incredibly important part of that family, and he will be deeply, deeply missed. I also want to convey my thanks to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, an extraordinary speaker for the ages, who has delivered so much for so many over such a significant period of time. Our caucus is better, our country is better, the world is better because of Speaker Nancy Pelosi's incredible leadership. I also want to thank our current House Majority Leader, Steny Hoyer, and our current House Majority Whip, Jim Clyburn, for their incredible friendship, mentorship, and support for all of us along this journey from the very beginning of our arrival in the Congress. We stand on their collective broad shoulders, building upon the incredible work that they've done. Excited.
Economists tell us, spend the money, invest the money for those who need it the most, because they will spend it. It will be a stimulus, or at least a stabilization and that's a good thing.
The argument is over how much is appropriate at this particular juncture as we struggle to get the economy back.
According to state officials in Connecticut, healthcare workers, grocery store employees, and private sector employees who staffed vital services during the first 2 years of the crisis can begin applying for up to $1,000. It won't be clear until early October where the applicants will receive as much as $1,000, and that's because legislators and the governor, Ned Lamont, allocated just $30 million for the program. He said that Connecticut's essential workers have gone above and beyond during the crisis to keep the state running and safe. The new premium pay program is another way for us to return the favor, for these funds are truly meaningful. Every essential worker needs to know that they're available. To be eligible, an applicant must have worked between March 10th and May 7th of 2022 in one of these occupations that the state has listed. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel. Eligible applicants must earn at least. Some of the frontline workers in these categories include healthcare personnel, food and agricultural workers, grocery store staff, and public transit workers. Applicants must earn less than $150,000 per year and cannot be employed by a federal or state entity. Full-time workers who earn less than $100,000 can apply for a $1,000 grant. Those earning more than $100,000 but less than $150,000 are eligible for grants on a sliding scale.